Hello and welcome to Screwfix Live 2022 online, where we're bringing you a show featuring the very best that Screwfix has to offer. This week it's all about the big brands and even bigger daily deals on offer. Today it's all about FESTOOL. So what's coming up on today's show? We've got an Extractor 101 from Carl and Alan at FESTOOL. Of course, we've got details of that daily deal you really don't want to miss. Some highlights from the weekend show at Farnborough with Katie and Adam, aka the tradie life and the tradie wife, and not forgetting the work that the Screwfix Foundation do. We've seen thousands of visitors and professional tradespeople on the stands at Screwfix Live 2022, and nothing is more apparent than how important an investment their tools of choice are to their livelihood. It's a passion, a way of life, for some a business that has been handed down generations. Those tools enable skill and craftsmanship to be fostered and grow thousands of businesses, both new and established, nationwide. Here's Gary's story.
When I'm on my way to the joinery shop, I actually get really excited, getting in my van, driving down the road 4 or 5 minutes, open the shutters up, and I'm there in my paradise. My name's Gary Banks, and I am the director of Banks Carpentry, and I've been in this industry for around about 20 years. Along that line, I've probably done every type of carpentry there is, from veneering, shuttering, roofing. I am literally like a Swiss Army knife because I'm doing the designing, we're building it, we're assembling, we're fitting, we're spraying. I'm always there on each step. I found what I love most, and that's the wardrobe making, furniture making, the more bespoke works, I would say, and less messy building sites. I actually got into carpentry from a really young age. My dad was like a general builder. My earliest memory was building like little wooden boats, and we put them in the bath. It was a nice bonding thing we had between us, just learning different aspects, of carpentry, which I fell in love with. So I knew my path for my life to be a carpenter and joiner. You really need to have a team around you that you can rely on. Not just my own team, but obviously you've got other trades working in the job site with you as well. Sometimes all of our work's combined, so it's nice that you can come away as a joint satisfaction with these other trades and feel like we've done a big job together, and then it gives you confidence for future jobs that you might want to recommend them. So definitely, meeting other trades and having a strong team around you. I'm a father of 2 young children, and my dad passed away quite young, so it would be nice for them to see me grow up to be old. There's so many bad chemicals and dust and everything, so it's important to have a clean, tidy workshop on the job site as well. We're always taking our extractors, and it's just a nice environment as well. You don't want to be rolling around in dust. If we were in clients' houses, they want to see they've got a nice, clean house. Clients buy into the Banks Carpentry brand itself because I am the face of the company. Obviously, I'm on social media quite a lot. Usually I speak to clients, it's almost like they know me already, so I still like to meet the clients and I want to know what they're about as well, getting their vision and creating it, and obviously just seeing their reaction of a finished job. I'm definitely a people person. I think I get that from my dad, of just having chats with people and just being kind. My dad was a big pusher of my business, and it was actually the start of this business actually taking off. And I found that when he passed away, I was straight into work because I loved work and it was good for me. But I did find that when I finished the job, and I was really proud, and it's quite emotional for me, but I actually felt like I had to go to my phone and call him and talk to him. When I started using FESTOOL, I knew they were neat and tidy. It was all compact, like a whole system of how it worked. And I actually designed myself to be more like that. I can remember buying this sustainer, and I can remember turning up on jobs and people were like, what is that? Wow. That effect it had on other people, and obviously myself, because when I said pick this up, I knew that I wanted to do a good job. I was setting everything up. It was just, I was in the zone. That was the start of the passion. Using this system is a way of life, I'd say.
Oh, I've got to say, I am just loving hearing these kind of stories from Screwfix customers this week. Great stuff. Now, Gary mentioned in his story there about making sure he's around for a long time to come for him and his family, and the importance of good extraction so you can be working in a healthy, dust-free environment. FESTOOL really are leaders in the field of mobile on-site extraction. Here's Carl and Alan to tell us more.
So, welcome to Extraction 101.
Yes.
So Alan and I are both part of the technical training team here at FESTOOL, and I don't think a day goes by, Alan, where we don't get the question, you know, which extractor, why, what does this do, what does that do? And the biggest thing we get is the cry for help.
Yeah, we get a lot of those questions.
So I think the purpose is of this little presentation is to run through extraction, some of the key do's, don'ts, and also making sure that we help you select the right extractor for your needs.
And one of the first things to consider when you're purchasing the extractor is classification. And believe it or not, every single extractor has got a classification. And in the FESTOOL world, there are 4 different types of classification. So the first one is quite easy, isn't it, Cole?
Unclassified.
Unclassified.
Yeah. So to my right hand side here is a perfect example of the unclassified extractor, our CT15. And then we get to our classified ones. So their next 3 are?
Yeah, and there's a nice little highlight right there next to Carl is the L. It's quite difficult to miss it. So the next 3 are quite easy to remember. They're L, M, and H. An easy way to remember it is low, medium, and high. And let's take you through these classifications, what they mean for you, and what you need to look out for. So as Carl said, there's an L, and then there's also an M. Carl's got behind him as well. And also there's an H. So there are a lot of choices out there for you. And you see, each classification comes in different sizes and different variants, but the classification goes across all the range of extractors. So Cole, what would you use an unclassified extractor for?
So for me, unclassified extractors are for remedial cleaning work. So this would be heavy dust that's dropped to the floor by probably the use of a manual tool. You know, there are times when we do jobs that power tools aren't used, and we make dust and mess that way. And again, perfect cleaning. So if you've again been in an office environment, working in an office environment, and you needed to clean up afterwards, absolutely perfect. Use it for that.
Yeah. And then you've got the L, which is also recommended for remedial work, anything that is non-carcinogenic. So, Carl, you mentioned a good one earlier on this morning.
Yeah, plastics.
That's a great one.
And one that comes under that, actually thinking about it, is solid surface.
Yes.
So those of you that are solid surface work contractors out there, if that's all you do, day in, day out, L-class would be absolutely fine.
Yeah. And another one for the L-class as well, for the painters and decorators out there, is modern day emulsions. They're not carcinogenic at all, but please be careful, because if you're sanding through your modern day emulsions, you don't know what nasties lie underneath that, which brings us to the next topic of M-class.
Yep.
So anything carcinogenic is M-class requirements for wherever you're working, because it just offers you that extra level of protection and safety net. So if you are a paint and decorator and you're sanding through those emulsions, possibly getting to timber or possibly getting to other paints that are really old and you're not quite too sure what's in them, other little nasties, the M-class will give you nice protection for them. For carpenters and joiners, a lot of woods are carcinogenic. If you're construction, a lot of the silicas are not very good for you at all. So the M-class gives you that extra level of protection on that. And
yeah, so that's hardwoods, softwoods, man-made boards, so MMM, man-made material, man-made boards, it sort of ties in quite nicely. So that would be things like OSB, MDF, plywood, you name it, the amount of construction materials that are out there. But would it also include, like, as you say, silica-based property as well?
Absolutely. And a nice hint, if a customer always asking me, I ask them what voltage are they using. If they're 240, if they're 110. Because if you're 110, there is another caveat, isn't there, Carl? It doesn't matter if you're walking on site, how much you've spent on your extractor, all singing, all bells. If it does not have M-class extraction, a lot of sites you will not be allowed onto. So please, if you 110 volt, that's a strong indicator for you to get M-class extraction. But then there's the high one.
Yeah, and this is the one to be a little bit careful about, and they would be immediately hazardous to health, so that might be asbestos, it may be mould, it may be other really itchy fibres and that sort of thing that potentially could give you an instant reaction. The best thing to do really there is to confirm the type of material you're using with the manufacturer of that material. So they will produce something called a COSH regulation, and that COSH regulation will tell you the dust requirement classification for that material, and that's probably the best way to ensure that you're using the right extractor for the right material.
Absolutely. So after classification, you can take a look at the dust type that you're generating, which is a real helpful indicator to you as to which extractor you need to get. So if you're dealing with wood dust, let's say I'm a carpenter, Carl, I'm wood dust and I'm predominantly carpenter joiner, what kind of or what type of extractor should I then go for?
So any of the extractors that you see behind us are suitable, and those extractors work with a closed bag system, which we'll have a closer look at in a moment, and those are internal filter bags, which are again doing what they suggest, filtering a lot of material for you, and they don't clog because the dust is quite coarse.
And that's, I think, a key point is coarse waste, and so a closed bag is absolutely perfect for that. But then you've got the other side of the coin where you're dealing with incredibly fine waste. So a lot of people are dealing with fillers, just sanding fillers the whole day, drywall liners, plasterers, and even painters and decorators. To a large extent, the waste they generate is very, very fine. It's almost like a fine flour. In that instance, the closed bag system that Carl's just spoken about won't be able to function properly. So you need an auto clean extractor. So this is a very special type of extractor because instead of a closed bag, you're now going to an open bag system. And we've got a little video that we can run for you now, just so that you can see what it looks like inside the extractor when an auto clean function actually operates on an extractor. Let's jump to that quickly. And I love that little video. And Carl, I love the way you describe what's happening there.
Yeah, so in essence what's actually happening there is the fine dust that would normally get blocked in the filter bag, so we've removed that filter bag and used the open bag lining system, is now attacking directly the filter in the extractor. And just like you, if you breathe in dust, the first reaction is that you will cough. So that, in essence, is what the extractor's doing. It doesn't shake, it's not a vibrating thing. You know, you may have heard that on the market before. What FESTOOL do is it blows back pressure through the filter, and as I say, in essence, coughs.
Yeah, and it's a great, efficient way of coping with high volumes of the very, very fine dust. So an auto clean extractor is perfect if you're a drywaller or if you're a renovator, building construction, where you're dealing with different types of waste. That's a great option of extractor for you.
Yeah.
What's the next thing to consider if you're looking at extractors, Carl?
The next thing for me then is the size. So what do I do? Where am I mobile? Am I in a workshop? All those things come into consideration. And I suppose why that's so important is because, remember, the amount of dust that goes in has a weight. All right, so some of these things, if you're looking at the fine dust, like Alan's just mentioned with the drywalling, it's almost like having a bag of unprepared drywalling when you're finished and sanded inside the extractor. So that could be up to 25 kilos of weight. Again, if I'm up and down the stairs, a painter and decorator working and renovating people's homes, that's when I would look at the fact I'm up, I'm down, I want a little bit less weight in my extractor. So that would be a good one to sort of do. But again, the 110 caveat comes in there. So your 110, the smallest and lightest you can get to is the MIDI. And then obviously we can go larger in the range at that point. So remember that 110 with the M class if you really need to be working on construction sites.
And size of extractor in the beginning can have an effect on the long-term costs of your extractor because the bigger extractor, the less, if you're using the closed bag system, the less you'll be spending on bags because that bag will sit in your extractor for a very long time. Whereas the smaller your extractor, some applications you can fill a bag within a couple of minutes and then you'll be needing to replace those bags. But there is a way to get around that. Let me show you here, just to step out of frame for a moment. There is a solution for if you're doing those applications where you're generating a lot of waste very quickly. And that is what we call a long life bag. So the nice thing about this bag is you can open the end of it, empty the waste out, close it again and put it back in your extractor. So that way, if you're planing, especially, you generate an enormous amount of waste. Sawing, routering timber, all those applications, a long life bag is a great solution. But what do all those wastes have in common, Carl?
They're very coarse wastes, Alan. So, you know, the long life bag is only suitable for those types of applications where the dust particles are very large. If you start to use fine dust applications, i.e. sanding is a good example there. With a long life bag, all you're going to do, if I take that from you, is fill that bag of fine dust and expose yourself to very high volumes and high concentrated amounts of dust when you take the end off to empty the bag. So you're actually probably going to be exposing yourself to more dust using the wrong bag. If you are using those type of applications, the filter bag, I'll just swap over, there we go, that comes supplied with the machines, and then you can buy in packs of 5. Make sure you buy one with your extractor. You never know when it's going to fill up, so you need your spares straight away. That's what you will then use for those sanding applications. These are disposable, one use, pull the tab, it seals in all that hazardous dust, and then just throw them away. Be responsible, throw them away responsibly, but then dispose of them, put a new one in and start work again.
Yeah, and please, if you're getting an extractor today, never ever leave your shopping cart or leave the store without a box of bags. And for the MIDI, let's say for example, I don't want to give a price, but they are very, very economical. You know, if you charge extra, every project that you go to, charge them an extra £5. As you walk out the project, take the bag out the extractor, put a nice new fresh clean bag in. It just helps you contain the waste to a particular project, and it just helps you. It's just a good practice to get involved in, and you maintain it. It's like a dust mask of your extractor. You're maintaining your extractor much better by doing that. So please, a box of bags, don't forget about that.
Yeah, I really like that example that Alan has just used there, a dust mask for the extractor. So if you think that you would change your dust mask when moving from job to job, think about changing the dust mask inside your extractor as well. I do hope all the hints and tips have helped you decide which extractor to add to your shopping cart. Thanks to the Screwfix Live event, there's no better time to purchase FESTOOL tools and accessories.
Thanks so much, guys. Now, don't forget, this week it's all about those big deals, and today we've got an exclusive FESTOOL deal of the day. Just head over to the FESTOOL page at screwfix.com, where you can take advantage of that offer for today only.
Hello, thank you for joining FESTOOL at Screwfix Live. My name is Carl. FESTOOL 18-volt tools offer you the ability to work cable-free in the workshop and on the construction site. FESTOOL prides itself on its 18-volt tools being just as powerful as the corded equivalent. Here's Alan and I taking a look at some of our highlights in the 18-volt range and the technology that powers them.
The FESTOOL 18-volt battery system offers you incredible solutions to the challenges that you face on site. Thank you so much for joining Carl and myself, Alan, on this video where we'd like to point out the benefits for you for the FESTOOL 18-volt system. But first, shall we take a look at the overview of the range, Carl?
Yeah, shall we start on this side?
That side, yeah.
So at the front there you can see that we have a range of sanders. So we have the Delta and the RTS sander. We have the random orbit sander, which can also be then converted to use as our brand new edge sander.
Oh, I love that one.
Sanding all of those edges. We then have our construction tools. We have our DWC 2500 and 4500 speed of drywall gun, followed by our BHC 18 SDS drill. Then we have both versions of our jigsaws that are available, and an extra cutting solution, our OSC multi-cutter. We'll come to that in a bit more detail shortly. Over to your side.
We've got this beauty over here. If you're cutting Celotex insulation or any other solid insulation, this will make a huge difference to your life. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous tool. Of course, the cordless guardrail saw, plunge saw, this is just a beauty. Our cordless grinders, we've got a steel cutting or general purpose grinder, and we've also got one focused towards cutting tiles, ceramics, masonry is the word I was looking for. So a nice one over there with great extraction, really good extraction on a cordless machine. Coming over to this side, we've got a few drilling solutions over here. Impact driver, that's an essential for every toolbox. We've got 2 combi drill options for you. And we've got the T and C18, my personal favorite. Still saying on sawing, a great circular saw, offering you really, really excellent solutions. And of course, what will the site be without some music? We've even got a cordless radio there for you. We've got a great range, haven't we, Carl?
We have absolutely fantastic range, and with the exception of the radio, obviously not being a tool, just play music. What is surprising to know, and what a lot of people fail to realise, is that every tool that we've just gone through there in our 18-volt range contains the FESTOOL EC Tech brushless motor. Every single tool, even though the jigsaws don't say it, trust us, they have. Everyone has that brushless motor, and that's a real big advantage to us at FESTOOL, because it means our motors are much more efficient, as well as being lightweight. And obviously efficiency means that we get the maximum amount of power from our batteries as possible. So that gives us really, really long run times from our 18-volt tools.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, what's all about a brushless motor? And what I love about it is it draws the same amount from a battery, but it delivers much more power and runtime to you. So a brushless motor is so important with cordless.
And then of course, I suppose, as well as looking at the tools, we need to understand what is powering the tools, and that will be the 18-volt battery itself. And what we wanted to do, Alan and I, was just clear up some of the confusion of what the batteries are and where we want to use them. So the first battery that we want to look at is specific to just the 4 sanders in the range. So as mentioned there, we have the detail, the orbital sanders, the edge sander, and the battery is our 3.1 amp hour Ergo Flex battery. So this battery is suitable for these tools only, and the reason for that is they're designed to fit in the handles to make them really ergonomic. But also, stepping away from cordless for a second, it means that we can put our power adapters in there to actually turn all of these tools into a powered power tool. So that they are, as far as we're aware, the first and the only hybrid power tools out there on the market today.
And I love the way the FESTOOL have actually redesigned the battery for the sanders. Because a lot of other manufacturers, you've got the same battery platform as the rest of your 18-volt, but sanding, ergonomics is so important. So we've especially redesigned the battery for that, and the ergonomics on the sanders is just exceptional.
But of course, they still deliver excellent runtime. So with runtime of around 35 minutes and charge time of 20 to 25 minutes, with 2 batteries in your kit, you can run continuously all day should you need to. So that's our first battery. Then we move on to our standard size batteries, if you like. Alan.
Yes, and yeah, we can start off with my personal favorite, especially if you're dual driving. I love the lightweight of the 3.1 amp hour battery. It adds incredible balance to the drill driver. And what I always say is, why have an incredibly heavy battery on your drill just for it to last the whole week, when you can put a smaller, much better balanced, much more lightweight battery in a drill. It'll still last a day, but you just have so much more better ergonomics out of your drill and hand tool. But then you've got the choice. Remember, the amperage also affects the power of the drill. So sometimes I find I don't get as much power and I need a little bit more oomph to my drilling. And then you've got the option of bumping up to the 4 amp hour, which still delivers superb power to the drilling, but in a slightly heavier body than the 3.1 amp hour. But if you compare the 4 amp hour and the 5.2 amp hour, the 4 amp hour. What are the stats for this again, Carl?
So 50% smaller and 20% lighter, with only 20% less runtime than the 5.2.
I mean, looking at the size difference of those, as you say, 50% smaller, that is an incredible benefit to you. So bumping up for more power, you've got the 4 amp hour, but again, staying drilling, but the 4 amp hour does sort of step into the more construction tasks. So Carl over there's got the construction BHC, the SDS drill. You've got the drywall screw guns. All of those operate absolutely perfect on the 4 amp hour. But then you do get the applications where you need a lot more power draw on the power tools. So you've got the guardrail saw, the grinders, and also the circular saw. There you do need a lot of power draw, and it's much more demanding tasks on a battery. So you've got the 5.2 and the 6.2 amp hour batteries on it. But I love the 5.2 and the 6.2 amp hour batteries because they've got something very, very special, and I think it must be unique to FESTOOL, isn't it, Carl?
Yeah, Airstream technology. I'm guessing where we're going. So yeah, with our Airstream technology batteries, we have 2 chargers available on the market. We have the TCL6, which is our 6 amp rapid charger, but then we have our super fast Airstream battery charger, which is the SCA8, which Alan has there, which is designed to reduce those charging times down even further. And the way they work is, on the batteries themselves, there are slots which allow airflow to pass through the battery. So when connected to the Airstream charger, there is a fan that draws that air through the battery even quicker to keep the battery at a lower temperature, which means we can charge it at a faster rate.
And I know there's a lot of you out there, we talk to you on a daily basis, that just are a firm believer in mains tools. Yeah, we're talking to you, those of you nodding their heads. Please take the jump to cordless tools. What we hear every day is, I should have done it sooner. Why did I not do it before? Especially taking a look at something like the guardrail saw. Customers who have gone from mains to the cordless version, they absolutely love it, but it's just the quality of the FESTOOL, power tool, battery and charger, the whole system, because of that warranty all-inclusive. We've got such confidence that you're going to love it and will not be disappointed. So take the plunge, try it, and you'll be happy.
Thank you for watching.
If you love what you do, you want to do it with dedication. Everything has to be carefully thought out. Only with confidence in your own abilities can new things be created. Achieve your own goals. Your experiences take you further and further until you have achieved the best quality. The best moment is when everything comes together and you get a glimpse of the final result for the first time. Be proud of what you create with the right tools for the right projects. The FESTOOL TS60K, worlds apart, the benchmark in sawing.
Now, of course, this weekend just gone, we saw thousands of people flock to Farnborough International Exhibition Centre for Screwfix Live 2022. And all week, we've been looking back at some of the highlights.
Right, we're here at the Titan stall in Screwfix Live 2022. I'm here with Carl. And what you showcased in here this weekend, Carl?
Well, we're showcasing the new 18-volt TXP range. It's cordless, coming from Titan for the first time. And really it's right for the time. It's good value, it's good quality gear at a time when people are trying to save a few pennies. And that is baked into the brand. It's all about good quality at the right price.
Right, brilliant. Is there any product you've got here which you're showcasing this weekend?
Absolute star sellers. We've had the combi, so it comes with a couple of batteries and a charger and a really nice case. So for most of those general jobs around the home, it's absolutely perfect for that. But we've also had, I know you love the window vac, but we've had the hand sprayer as well. So the little jet wash sprayer, perfect for like washing down your bike at home or doing a little bit of washing out of your garden, maybe your garden furniture. Absolutely cracking product. We've sold so many of those this weekend. It's been fantastic.
What's this thing do?
So that's to wet down your windows before you use your window vac. So you want to clean it down and then you get all that water and all that detergent off with your window vac. But yeah, absolutely, your windows will come up spotless, and what a great price. So yeah, really great product.
Brilliant. Thank you very much this weekend.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Now, Screwfix has over 800 stores and is embedded in so many communities nationwide. Being part of those communities and helping those most in need is important to Screwfix and their customers. Through the work of the Screwfix Foundation and the donations from customers and staff, they're able to make a real impact and give back to the communities they serve.
Hello, my name's Donal Henderson and I am Chief Executive at Foyle Hospice. We're absolutely thrilled with the funding of $7,500 from the Screwfix Foundation. Through the grant, we've been able to refurbish our building, which had 30-year-old wooden single-framed glazing. These new windows will increase our thermal efficiency and reduce our maintenance costs. It also provides a huge improvement to our quality of care and comfort for our patients and their families, and also improves the thermal efficiency of our changing rooms for the staff. Thanks so much to the Screwfix Foundation and Screwfix customers who enabled this grant for Foyle Hospice.
So that's it from us, and thank you to the team at FESTOOL today. Don't forget you can head over to screwfix.com to take advantage of that exclusive FESTOOL deal of the day, but also other great FESTOOL offers being featured all week. Tomorrow we've got an incredible lineup with Bosch in the studio. We'll see you then at 6 o'clock. Good night.